Hi everybody, welcome to Narrowboat lockdown number 12, and I just want to say this is the last time that we are using this title. We are coming to the end of lockdown, of course, but we want to let you guys know that we are beginning a whole new project, and we're calling it Diary of a Narrowboat. And the idea is really to film the seasons week by week and show you guys what it's like to live on a narrowboat through 12 months of the year. So we're going to begin today and head off shortly. But Aisha, do you want to come in and say something a little bit more about what we're planning?
Yeah, well, I suppose first of all, I'd just like to say what an extraordinary time it's been, the whole lockdown period. If you caught last week's show, you would have heard me saying we've just had notice from the Council for the Waterways, CRT, saying from next weekend, this coming weekend, we can now start to move. So in the next couple of weeks, we will have to move. So Alan and I are planning where we're going to go next. Could be the Thames even, could be into London again. We're not sure. We're going to sort of make it up a little bit as we go. But as you were saying, we are actually going to start filming it. So you guys get a sense of what it's like to be on the water throughout the year. We're here in May. I think probably my most favourite month to be on the canals or on the rivers because it's just the most beautiful. So I'm super excited and happy that we're actually starting in late May because we get to show you some of the absolute beauty that is around us. It's going to make you want to run out and buy a narrowboat. One of the things that is my passion is cooking, and one of my other passions is living ecologically. Pop those two things together and you get foraging. So in May, there is one particular thing that you can forage, which also speaks to a third passion of mine, which is drinking good wine. We are currently surrounded by luscious bunches of elderflowers, and elderflowers make something absolutely quintessentially British that you can make for free if you go and collect the flowers yourself here on the canals. So today, to kick off our Diary of a Narrowboat, 12 months on the water, we are going to give you guys a taste of what it looks like on the canals in May, and maybe come and follow us while we do a little bit of foraging for elderflowers. Yep,
we're going foraging in just a moment, so come with us, okay? Well, here we are. We're on the canal path and we are looking for elderflower. Yeah. Yes. Okay, so
we find them.
Don't see any at the moment.
Look how lush it's looking. Oh, and guys, just see this beautiful stretch of canal. Isn't it lovely?
Just have a look over here. Look. So this is a golf course on the other side. Not many people playing golf at the moment, I have to say, but it's a beautiful sight. Lovely poplars, trees, blossom. My God, yesterday there was just seed filling the whole air, floating everywhere like magical little fairies.
It's paradise, isn't it?
It is.
One of our neighbours who lives here on the canal. They're beautiful, gaily painted narrowboats. They've got a lovely little doggy on board.
By the way, if you're wondering what this is my grabber, and this is to catch hold of the elderflower and gently pull them down so we can pick them.
Indeed.
All right, come with me.
We're following.
Okay, I'm looking around. Hang on a minute. Over there where the coots are, look, can you see? I think I've spotted some elderflower.
Yes, fat lot of good it is across the other side of the canal.
Is that a problem then?
Unless you want to swim.
Oh, hang on a minute. Hang on, look, just look here. There's a giant elderflower tree right behind us. That's amazing.
Elderflower paradise. Okay, so I'm here with my trusty set of scissors and we're going to snip off a few of these beautiful heads of flowers. We need about 6 to 10 for the recipe I'm going to be giving you today, and that will make us plenty of elderflower champagne. And by the way, folks, if you're not somebody that drinks elderflower champagne, you're not an alcoholic-y type person and prefer something a little softer, you can make yourself elderflower cordial, which is just as delicious. Now, something else to remember when you are picking elderflowers is the time of day to pick them, because if you pick them at the wrong time of day, that lovely smell of elderflower will actually be a smell of cat's pee, which is not something that you want to make wine out of. I think the perceived wisdom is pick them earlier rather than later, but just take a good sniff and make sure they're smelling good before you start picking them. And you know, the wonderful thing about elderflowers is they have their own natural yeast, so you don't actually have to add any yeast when you're fermenting them, which is rather fabulous. So see, I might not even need my scissors for this one. There we go, a beauty. When you wash them, make sure you don't wash them actually, you just want to give them a little shake, get rid of all the little insects, cobwebs, that sort of thing. Pop them in your basket and on to the next one. I just love this tree. It is such a generous plant because it not only gives you elderflowers in May and June, but come the autumn you get lovely red elderberries which make red wine. Red wine's not an easy thing to make in the UK. We don't have a lot of fruits in abundance that you could go and forage that would give you red wine. Plenty that would give you a good country white. But this beautiful plant, when it goes into its berry season, makes a really good country red wine. So give it a go. Maybe we'll do that again when we come around to September of this year. We'll do an elderberry one. But in the meantime, we are concentrating on elderflower champagne. Take a look over here. Here's another lovely May visitor to the canal side. It is wild roses. And this whole lovely bush is just going to be a crescendo of lovely pink and yellow flowers on the canal. It's going to look gorgeous. And of course, later on in the year, this too will become rose hips, which can also be foraged. Oh, and down here, a little more humble, this green plant, it's kind of got sticky leaves. Some of you guys listening may know what it's called. I don't. But I do know from a fellow boater that you can make it into a tea, which is supposed to have rather wonderful health-giving properties. So much you can eat and food for free on the canals. We have an excellent haul. This should be enough, I'm hoping, for quite a few litres of elderflower champagne. Okay, so we are back on the boat. We have our wonderful elderflowers. The only thing that you need to do now is give them a good shake to get all the insects off, perhaps any dead flowers off there as well, possible cobwebs, but these look pretty fabulous and fresh. And as I mentioned a little earlier, don't wash them. If you wash them, you will wash out their natural yeast, and this wonderful plant has its own yeast and you don't need to add any when you're making wine, so don't wash them and spoil that. Okay, so I'm going to put the exact recipe in a PDF in the description of this video, so I'm not going to go through the exact amounts, but I have basically boiled some water. I've dissolved some sugar in that water, because sugar is what's going to turn into our alcohol. And I am going to pour this slightly room temperature water, because I've let it cool now, sugar syrup if you like, into this bucket here that already has some cold water in it. Okay, so we're just going to put those two things together. Super simple. There we are. This is a common garden bucket from Wilko, who, by the way, are also brilliant for wine supplies. So in goes our sugar water. Already in there was our plain water. Then we're going to add the rind of some lemons, which I've already rinded. Okay, that's right. Can you say rinded? I don't know. Anyway, in that goes. I have squeezed the juice of a whole bunch of lemons, just doing the last one here. I need some acidity in there. some citric acid. You can use vinegar in some recipes, but I prefer the taste of lemons. And in goes our lemon juice. Fabulous. And last but not least, our wonderful elderflowers. Here we go. Elderflower champagne. Who would think that such simple ingredients could create champagne? I'm just going to grab a stick, splush it round. And then the last thing we're going to do is get ourselves some muslin. And we're going to cover the bucket, basically so that it can still breathe. All right, because it is going to be fermenting away. But we don't want any nasty flies and insects getting in there because it's quite sweet and sugary and they will want to. So probably later I'll just get a little bit of string or something just to tie that in place. And it really is as simple as that. Elderflower champagne. 4 to 5 days, let it ferment, and then strain off your flowers, put it into bottles. A lot of websites will highly encourage you to put it into plastic bottles because it does have a tendency to continue to ferment, and if you put it into a glass bottle there is a chance it can explode. So I will leave that final decision to you. Some people do still put it into glass bottles, but it's a little safer to go in the plastic. Anyway, pop it in your bottles, let it ferment in the bottles for a couple of months, I think, and we will be sitting in the summertime drinking the results of our elderflower champagne. I think even 6 weeks you would actually have some champagne. So in the meantime, it's been a long day. I think it might be time to have a little drinky poo on the back of our boat. Not champagne, I'm afraid, but I'm sure we can rummage around and find something good.
So here we are. End of a spectacular day. Birds tweeting, a coots zooming up and down.
Coots cooting.
Yeah, the trees blowing, the sun is shining. It's been absolutely marvellous.
The flowers blooming.
And we've made elderflower champagne.
Yes.
Has it been good for you?
It's just wonderful. It truly is my favourite time of the year. This is when I know in my bones that we made the right decision to live on water, to live on our boat. It's lovely. It's everything I want. It's everything that I value in life. Nature, community, foraging, wildlife, and the thought of elderflower champagne to come.
Yeah, and when the dark winter days come and the rain is pouring outside and it's freezing cold, we will remember this day.
We'll have a video to look back on.
Absolutely. So, cheers.
Cheers to May.